Welcome everyone. My name is Sonia Dudley. It is, oh my goodness, it is what, August the 16th? I believe that is correct. Let me verify that. Yes, August 16th. It is our second week for our mindset class, and I'm so excited you're here. I'm just excited that you decided to be on, participate. I love the live engagement. I know sometimes you have to watch it recorded, but I thrive on, I'm used to speaking in a live setting. So this is, I love the feedback. So I enjoy your questions and answers, your feedback, your comments. Last week was amazing. I had so many people that watched it that weren't on, that messaged me, that just talked about, not only the class, but they got so much out of the Q&A. So thank you for your participation. So I'm excited. So let's get started. I'm going to hit screen share, and y'all know this takes a second. All right, I got my same familiar faces over here. There's Dave and his mama. So crazy. Like, how does it pick who I see every time? It's so funny. All right. All right, I know we ended on, okay, I'm going to kind of do a quick, not really recap, but, okay. I know we ended with this last week. We talked a lot about self-image last week and just how important, your self-image is to your business, to your life. Like, you attract what you are. You attract what you think you are. And so just, I really hope that you worked on thinking about kind of what you put out there to other people. And when people talk to you, what you put out there as far as saying yes all the time. And just really setting up that value of yourself. And it's never too late to do that. So I had someone message me and say, I enjoyed the class, but I'm wondering, like I've already been such a yes person. How do I set that up? And, the answer to that, can you mute yourself? Can everyone mute out that's not muted? I'm muted, but once I start screen share, anyone who joins in, I would have to close this out, go back to muting, and I don't want to do that. So if you can be sure that you're muted. Wait, okay, actually I can do it from here. Wow. Okay, I learned something new. This is great. Okay, super, you're all muted. All right, but the way to do that is you just start. You just start. So when people are expecting a lot of you, you just set up that value right then. You create that. People follow confidence. They don't follow like a parked car, but they follow a moving car. So you always want to be that person that attracts people to what you have and what you are. And so you can start that now. You don't have to tell people, hey, okay, I'm not going to be answering your messages right away, or if you can figure out the answer, I'm not going to give it to you. You don't have to say that. You just start doing, okay? I think someone is writing on their iPad because we're getting the scribbling again. So if you're writing on your tablet, you may want to, yeah, someone is. It's okay. All right. All right, this is where we're going to start this week. These are power questions. There's really no good place in the whole presentation to put these, but these are just things that sometimes when I'm feeling like, and I mean, oh my gosh, I have days where I go, okay, like, what's going on? Everything seems out of control, or there's nothing going on. Where do I start? And these are just good questions to just kind of ground yourself. So these are things that I love this slide, and I have it written out. And when I need that check myself, this is what I do. Am I investing in myself? I can almost promise you that if I feel like things are not going as planned, things aren't moving, people aren't working, No one's excited. There's nothing going. Literally, when I ask myself these questions, the first one, am I investing in myself? The answer is no, because I'm too busy. I've been, just off course. I have not poured into me. I've poured into everyone else, but I have not stopped and went, okay, Sonia, what do you need? Are you reading a good book, Sonia? Are you watching good videos that pertain to things that you need? No. Are you taking courses that will grow you? No. Almost 100% of the time, the answer is no to number one. So, hope that helps you. Am I genuinely interested in others? That one is a great question. Sometimes when you are focused so heavily on your goal, say you want to get to a certain goal in your business, sometimes if things aren't happening, you've got to say, wait a minute. Am I genuinely interested in others? Can I really take myself out of the equation and look at my team and say, Susie, John, how can I help you in your business? What do you need? What do you need in your family? Do you need $200 a month? Do you need $500 a month? Do you just need your products paid for? How can I really help you? And I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because it's biblical, but when you focus on other people and you take yourself completely out of the picture, I don't know, God just blesses me when that happens. And so that's just my favorite second question to ground myself. Number 3, I thought the lid was closed. Am I grounded as a leader? Am I grounded as a leader? When people hear your name, do they go, oh, goodness, that Dave, he is all plexus, he is serious about his business. He is a lifer. Or do they question you? I don't know. I haven't seen him post in a month, and I don't know. I don't know if maybe he's doing something else. Do people label you as that person? That if you're in Plexus, that Plexus person. When I was in Mary Kay years ago, people called me the Mary Kay lady. I sent her to you, so I got so many referrals because people would say, oh, I sent her to you because I knew you'd been in it for years and you were in it. Well, that's what you've got to ask yourself. Do people see you as all in, or do they question that? Number 4, am I adding value to my team? Are you adding value to your team? Are you messaging your level 1s? Are you going to maybe one of your new level 1, level 2, level 3, maybe their wall, and maybe the your level 1 told you, Susie just got her first customer. Maybe you go to her wall and you congratulate her in public. That's adding value. Maybe sending her a text or a voice message, congratulating them on something, adding value to people. So that's huge, because when you're having a pity party, that's a great thing to do. Am I staying in my strength zone? That's a good one. Strength zone. So let me say this. If you are strong with pouring into people, if you are strong into talking about the products with people or the business, if you're strong at encouraging people, if you're strong at sticking to your income producing activities every day and checking that list off, whatever you're strong in, John Maxwell will tell you, you stay in your strength zone. You do not focus on your weaknesses. You stay in that strength zone. So if you aren't strong in organizing, you pay someone or barter with someone to help organize you. Or you do just enough to get the job done. You know, like I think I showed you last week, I have notebooks everywhere. My strength is not organizing, but I know where everything is in every notebook. So it's good. I'm good. I'm not good at organizing my house. So today I messaged an 18-year-old and I said, would you be interested in making 60, 80 bucks? And she's like, what do you want me to do? And I said, I need you to organize my pantry, my closet, and my pots and pans. And she's like, yes. So, you know, you figure out, am I willing to figure out what I need to do to make $50, $60 at something I enjoy doing and I'm passionate about doing, and then I make that money and I pay someone to do the things that's not in my strength zone. So that's what I did today. Feels so good to get that done. I'm excited. She comes a week from tomorrow. Yay. All right. And then we talked about this a little bit last week. Am I using the 5-second rule? I love Dave pointed out he had been using that. A couple of you had emailed me saying you have been using that. It's a great book, but are you using it? You know, have you found that you're still procrastinating? If you are, try this 5-second rule. You know, I need to go to the gym. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. And get up and go. Don't think anymore. Don't overthink it. Don't analyze it. Don't, just do. So, you know, John talks about the knowing and the doing gap. There's a gap in the middle. And so many of us know what we want to do, what we need to do, what it's going to take to get us from here to there. But then there's this huge gap, and there's all this fear between the knowing and just doing it. So the 5-second rule, I think, can really help a lot of you and me with that. And then the last one on this is, am I investing my time with the right people? Am I investing my time with the right people? Y'all, sometimes the right people in business, they're not always the fun people. They're not always the people that you would choose to go shopping with, choose to spend a day with, but they're the people who are working, who they ask you for advice, and you coach them, and you give them a challenge, and they actually do it, and then they ask you, what's next? How can I move forward? So they're the people, the right people to work with are the people who are playing ball with you. You throw the ball, they throw it back. You throw the ball, they throw it back. They ask you more, you give them some information, give them a challenge, they complete it, and they're ready for more. They're hungry. So it's not always the fun people. Sometimes these are the people that you get 5 messages a day from, and they say, I don't mean to bother you, I don't mean to bother you, and you're like, bother me, because you're working and you need me and you're ready to grow. So they can require a lot of your time, but we don't make what we make in Plexus not investing in people. So I love to pour into people. It's a good thing. Okay. All right. Fear. We all have fear. I have fear. We have fear. We have challenges. And we're really going to dive into this. I'm going to show you this short little video. It's only a couple minutes. It's so cute. I want you to watch this and turn your volume up right now. And here we go.
I'll be fine. I'll do it. Well, here goes something, I guess. Okay, you can do this. I'm gonna jump. Whoa, my ski's slipping off.
Remember, never snowplow, okay?
No snow plows.
Keep it straight, you'll be fine.
Okay.
Keep going
Straight. Do you go faster on the end run?
a little bit.
A little bit?
Yeah.
Is it any steeper, do you think? Not much?
same steepness, it's just longer.
Well, just longer. Just longer. Just a bigger 20, that's all.
Yep. Have
Just a
fun.
bigger 20.
Go ahead. You got this.
I got it.
It's fine. No, it'll be fine.
Okay. Here
Allow me to wait.
I go. Just the suspense at the top with the first time freaks me out. That's the only thing. It's so fun. Huh? 60 seems like nothing now. Whoa!
Oh, that is so priceless. There's so much in this video. Like, there's so much meat to dissect in this video. Oh my goodness. Okay, so did you catch the little girl behind her at the top that said, the longer you wait, the harder it's going to be. The longer you wait, the harder it's going to be. I want you to think about that in your own life. I want you to think about right now something that you procrastinate on, something that you fear, something that you want to do, that you think about doing, that you know you need to do, but you procrastinate on. The longer you wait, the harder it's going to be. And then did you catch at the top when she was saying, like when she started the self-talk, okay, it's just a little bit, okay, it's just a little bit longer. That's all. I can do this. I got this. I can do this. And then you heard the heavy breathing, but you heard, okay, I got this. Like, that's self-talk, y'all. That is self-talk. I mean, all right, I'm going to show you a book here. I'm sure you've seen this book, and it's what to say when you talk to yourself. I know we talked about it. Like, I think I've already, maybe I haven't come to the screen with all the books, but it's a huge book. It's huge because I did not realize that, like what I say to myself really makes a difference in the outcome of what I'm achieving. I mean, had she stood up there and said, I can't do this. I can't do this. There's no way. There's no way I could do this. I mean, do you really think she would have went? Probably not. But as she was fearful, then she started saying, okay, it's the same. It's not as steep. It's the same. Okay, I got this. So she started this self-talk. I got this. It's huge that we are aware of what we're saying to ourselves as we're trying to move forward. Think about how crazy it is. I want you to kind of think about this. You are wanting to excel, and you're saying, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. Why don't we beat ourselves up for not doing it? Why don't we think, how come I didn't do it? Well, could it be that we said, I can't do it? I mean, like, it's like we are really the culprit of our not achieving what we want to achieve. And then there was one more thing that she said. When she come to the end there, she said, 60 seems like 20 now, or something like that. Like, I want you to think about when you have achieved something or done something, even like this, that you feared. Do you remember after you did it thinking, I want to do it again? Like, that was easy. That wasn't hard. So it was that anticipation, the fear of the unknown, that was the hard part. I know riding a roller coaster, like a major roller coaster, like, I just look at it and I'm like, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. No, I can't believe I'm in line. And I get up to it. I'm like, I can't believe I'm doing this. You're kidding. I can't do it. And then as I get closer, I'm like, okay, I'm here. I have to do it. I'm right here. And then I start going, okay, I got this. I got this. Look at these little kids on here. If the kids can do it, I can do it. Like, I start talking to myself. And we psych ourselves up, and then it's never as bad as we thought it would be. So that takes me to the next screen. And I'm sure when we get to Q&A tonight, you guys probably have something to say about that amazing video. All right, here are a few fears. Obviously, and that's not my PowerPoint. That's somebody writing on an iPad. Sorry about that on the screen. Okay, fear of failure. We all, I would think, have a fear of failure. If I put myself out there and I don't make it, what are people going to think? Well, the good news is they're not going to think about you very long. That's the good news. They're going to think about you for about 5 minutes, and then it's over. And I promise you, when you're on your deathbed, you are not going to remember those people and that failure. There's really no such thing as failure. It's a judgment call. When you think you failed, I mean, there's really no way to fail. Everything you do is a step in the right direction. We'll dive a little deeper into that when we talk about riding the bicycle. Fear of success. You know, I didn't know I was afraid of success at all. But I'm going to give you an example. I was going to tell my husband to bring me we have a fan that we set up today, and it's in my bathroom, but like, I don't have my phone in here, and I can't text him. It's getting really hot in here. Let me raise a window. Let me raise a window. Y'all excuse me, I'm going to raise a window. It's hot air, but at least it's air, right? Okay. Whew. Thank you. All right. So I want to give you an example, because I know that I thought fear of success, that sounds crazy. Like, why would I be afraid of success? That doesn't even make sense. But let me give you my example. This is a true example. This is me. So I live you kind of paycheck to paycheck. My husband has a great job, but we overextended. It was pretty much a lot my fault, because I had gotten us into a lot of debt with another business. And so, you know, we kind of like paycheck to paycheck. So when I got into Plexus and I hit Emerald 6 months later, I remember getting that paycheck. And I remember thinking, when I got that check, how am I going to handle this money? Like, here were my thoughts immediately. What if I spend it all? What if I don't pay enough taxes? What if I don't know how to handle it? What if I don't save any? What if it goes away? What if I lose my friends? Those were like 5, 6 things that like flooded my mind the minute I got that paycheck. Now, obviously, I was getting good paychecks in between for 6 months. But the first 3 months, it was like, you know, it was good paychecks, but it wasn't like stupid money. And then the 3 months, you know, closer to Emerald, it was like, this is crazy. Like, this is real. And then when it was Emerald, it was like, I've never, and here's what I want to say about fear of success. The reason I was afraid of that is because it was unfamiliar. I had never experienced it before. It was a new feeling. See, I was used to being broke. I was used to being paycheck to paycheck, not broke, but paycheck to paycheck, okay? I could do that thing. I could do that. Hey, we've got, you know, $200 extra in savings. You know, I hope nothing tears up in the house. I hope we don't need a new air conditioner unit. I'm telling you guys, I told my husband this evening when he told me, he said, okay, the air conditioner guy said he's going to come back tomorrow. He's going to try one more thing. If it doesn't work, we're going to need a whole new unit. We've been here almost 17 years. And I'm like, okay, what's that going to cost? And it was like almost $5,000. that's a lot of money, y'all. And I remember, like, I said to him, he's like, really? Like, I can't believe it. I said, well, 5 years ago, that would have set us back for a couple of years. Really, at least. But what a blessing. What a blessing that it's not going to do that today. It's a blessing. So, but see, I couldn't have said that 5 years ago. Had that happened, I would have been like, but what if we spend this money on this? And then, like, I mean, like, you know, if it had happened right when I got that Emerald check, I would have been like, oh, see, it's going to go away. See, it's not going to last. So my mindset then was different than it is now. You have to work on your mindset in order to overcome these fears that you're not even aware of them. I was not aware that I had a fear of success. If you had said to me, Sonia, if you played the lottery and you won the lottery, how would you feel? I'd have been like, yeah, really? Like, how would I feel? What do you mean, how would I feel? But had it really happened, and it did in a way, it was new. So I want you to think about that. If you're having trouble breaking a barrier, breaking the next level, reaching a new income level, I want you to think about maybe it's because you've never hit that income level and it's unfamiliar. Okay? All right. Fear of trading security for the unknown. That was hard for me, like giving up a job where I knew that every week I clocked in, clocked out, clocked in, clocked out, and I got a paycheck. Well, you have to decide, you know, is that worth staying in that to you? Are you okay with that? And if you are, good. But if you're not, you have to break past that. And that was scary. I'm telling you, like, knowing I was making so much a month and then going, okay, I'm just going to give this a shot. That was huge. But I wanted it so bad. I wanted time freedom. I wanted, you know, time with my kids. I didn't want to miss any more ball games. I wanted to work when I wanted to work, not when someone else told me to work. And you've got to outweigh those things and keep that in the forefront of your mind. Fear of what others think. Oh my goodness. Again, it doesn't matter what others think because they don't pay your bills. They only think of you for a few minutes. Uh-oh. All right, there we go. They only think of you for a few minutes, and then it's over. And then they're off to think about someone else, to talk about someone else. Does it really matter what they think? I want you to ask yourself, when you're about to post something on Facebook, and you're like, oh, I don't know, Susie may think that that's kind of a little pushy. Okay, what about the other 500 people on your wall? You know, if you feel like it's the right thing to do, do it. Quit worrying about what other people think. All right, fear of pushing others away. That's just about the same thing. You know, what if I lose some friends? Well, I'm here to tell you, you will probably lose a few friends on the way. You probably will. It's not your fault. It's not your issue. It's their issue. If you don't change and you're still a loving and giving and humble person, and they have a problem with that, that is their insecurity. That is their fear. That is their jealousy, maybe, of they wish they could do what you do, but they're not willing to overcome. So I want you to understand that. I've lost some friends, but I've gained lots of friends. And I know in my heart, I'm the same person. I can just do more and give more with more resources. So that's what you have to keep that in your mind. Okay. And the last one on here is fear of being overextended on your resources. I don't have enough time. Sonia, I'm a gold ambassador trying to get to senior gold. I don't have enough time in my day to manage these 100 people. How am I going to manage thousands of people? Well, here's the good news. You never have to manage them. You will lead by example. You will always, you will only have a handful of people that want your job. So you're only going to have to work with 5 to 10, 15 people. The other thousands will follow your lead or they won't. You don't manage thousands of people. What you do with thousands of people is you do your best to inspire them on a team page. You do your best to inspire them on your personal page, but you don't manage them. You influence by your example and you hope that they catch on. The other 5, 10, 15 people you will work with, okay? So don't allow that to be an excuse in your mind or fear, because that one, as all of these, are just, they're just lies that you've told yourself that no one else believes, okay? So no need of getting caught up in those. All right, I can't even see the time because I don't have a clock in here nor a phone. Can someone tell me, I know it's 9 or it's close to 9. Dave, will you tell me what time it is?
It's 8:48 Central.
8:48, perfect. Okay, perfect. Good deal. Thank you. All right. Failure is not an event, it's a judgment. I love this. Failure is not an event, it's a judgment. When someone thinks you have failed or you call yourself a failure, it's not, it's just a judgment. You need to look at that as this is a learning experience. This is one more milestone to where I want to go. I mean, I know you've all read all the statistics on, Thomas Edison tried to invent the light bulb hundreds of times before it ever happened. So-and-so, Babe Ruth, struck out, I don't know how many times before he ever made a home run. I mean, but these people made history. So, it's simply the way you look at it. It's the way you look at it. It's not an event. It's just a judgment. So for yourself, watch how you judge your own failures that are not failures. They're just, it's just a process. It's just part of the learning curve, okay? All right. What are your challenges? I want you to take just a minute, and in this minute, I'm going to go find my phone. Here's some examples. I can start something, but never finish. I can lose weight, but I always gain it back. I can get it all done. I can't get it all done. I need more time in my day. Like, these are things that I have said before. These are my personal things that I've said before. And I hear these from people, but there's many, many more. You have your own. I want you to write down 2 or 3, 4 of things that maybe you don't verbalize out loud, but you think about, okay? Write those down right now. I'll be right back. Okay. I feel better just having a clock in front of me. All right. There we go. All right. Okay. You can finish this. You can finish this week, and you may want to add more to this, because these are going to be some of the things that you're going to make affirmations on when we get a little bit deeper here. So you're probably going to want to extend this list. Okay. Whoops. Okay. All right. Facts about fear. Facts about fear. Does it serve us well? You know, when I'm scared or afraid, like, I'm not productive. Think about something you've been so, like, all of a sudden you get this, something happens, you get this message, you find something out, you find out you've got to do something, and you all of a sudden you're just so afraid. What do you really do for that next few minutes, that next hour, that next day, maybe a week? What do you really do that's productive? You obsess about it, right? You're not that productive. You're thinking about all the fear, so you're not really productive. You're kind of into yourself. So what's the opposite of fear? Faith. I mean, just faith. And like, you know, faith is it's always hard to believe in something you can't see. But, you know, for me, I'm a Christian, so like I know that like I have total faith that everything that happens in my life, God has a plan for it. He's worked it out. So it helps me to have a different mindset about things. So whatever your belief is, you have to have faith that you know, I'm not supposed to live in fear. There's nothing about my life that is productive when I'm living in a fear mode. Listen, I know some of you have had things happen to you that is far beyond anything that's happened to me that I'm aware of. And so, you know, therapy, having a counselor, having a therapist, I've done it. I've definitely had therapy before. Mine was more related to the job I left before, like the last network marketing job I left. But some of you may need that, and that is okay. Give yourself permission to get help. It is okay to get help. It is okay to talk to someone about your fears. It's not being negative. It's healthy to talk about them. But then you have to be in that mindset. You have to have the mindset of, I'm going to talk about it with intentions of finding a solution to overcome it. Okay? It's one thing for people to say over and over and over their entire life about they talk about their fear. It's a different thing for someone to talk about it and then work on it. It's like when you have, in my business, in Plexus, somebody says, you know, they complain to you about, like, the products aren't working, but yet they're not doing anything about it. Like, or I want the products. Well, I'll give you an example. I actually have a person right now who they are so sickly. They need what I have so bad. So bad. And like, I know how much it would help them, but they say they can't afford it. But yet, they're going to concerts, they're spending money on other things. This is what that tells me. Money is not the real excuse, okay? Priorities are. Priorities are. They don't feel like they're worthy. They don't feel like they can lose the weight and not gain it back. They don't feel like it's going to work, and they're not willing to spend the money on it. Whatever the reason. So when people tell me they can't afford it, I want you to know that's normally not the main objection. It's usually a couple more after that. So always dig deep. Always dig deep. You know, well, we have a 60-day money-back guarantee. So if I could show you how to try it risk-free, would you be willing to give it a try if you knew it possibly could take care of these issues? You know, and see what they say. All right. All right, if you don't like the programming, you've got to change it. You've got to change it. So, how do we do that? I want you to think of your mind as a computer. You can type anything in your computer, and it does not know if it's true or false. When I'm typing into my computer, I could say, Sonia, you are really not a smart person. You are really kind of stupid. You're really not good with people. Like, I could sit and type all of that. My computer does not say, wait. That's not true. My computer actually stores it, asks me if I want to save it, and I say yes, and I save it. And every time that I start to feel that way, my brain is a muscle, and so the more I relive that thought, the easier it is to retrieve. So it just finds it even quicker every single time. So everything negative in your life, in your mind that you're saying, it's retrieved quicker all the time. So I want you to start looking at your mind this week differently. I want you to start paying attention to what you're saying to yourself, because I want you to understand that your mind doesn't know the difference in true and false. So you have an option. You've got a 50-50 shot of giving it what it needs or giving it something that works against you. Why would you keep doing that? All of you on this, I know you don't want something that works against you. You would not be in here. You're wanting something that helps you move forward. So the key is being aware of what you're saying so you can change it. Okay, that's huge. Okay, biblically, if you guys are thinking this is crazy and this is nuts and this Sonia gal, she's like crazy, it's very biblical that your words carry a thought and they shape your future. It's biblical. Take a picture of this, look them up. They're amazing verses. I put need I go on. I mean, it's just proven that you can't plant carrots and get corn. You whatever you plant, you're going to reap that harvest, right? All right, so programming. Programming creates your beliefs. Programming, I want y'all to, we'll back up. Programming are your words, the words that you've given to yourself. Maybe someone in your childhood told you something about yourself that you took on as your own belief, okay? So those words, that programming, you're not good enough. You're not smart enough. You're always going to be fat. No one in our house went to college. You're never going to amount to anything. Whatever it was, the programming created your beliefs. The beliefs created your attitudes. Your attitudes created your feelings. Feelings can get you in trouble, by the way. Feelings determine your action, and action creates your results. So, you know, when people say, I don't feel like doing that. I don't feel like working out today. Well, really? Like, I mean, are you really going to wake up and feel like going to the gym and running? Like, no, you want to get up probably and lounge around, have a cup of coffee, read a book. I mean, you know, you're not going to feel like it. So do you agree that you really don't need to go by feelings? But so many of us go by our feelings, which get us in trouble. You know, I don't believe love is really a feeling. I believe love is an action word. I believe it's a purposeful word that we have to consciously pour ourselves into. So anyway, I won't get on that, but so this is a really good thing to remind yourself of how your results are produced. Your results are produced all the way back from your programming. And if you haven't read this book, I would highly recommend this being probably the first book you read. It's on my website, soniadudley.com. You can click it there, order from there. You can just click it there and then order it when you want to, but you can see it's on there if you forget it. It's just a great book. I did a YouTube, me and Helen, my best friend, we did a YouTube series on it. I think it's 7 weeks long. And if you go to my YouTube channel, Sonia Dudley, you can actually find the series of this, Zoom series of this in the library. You may want to do it with this class, or you may want to do it after this class. Okay. All right, I'm going to stop there, and I'm going to pick up here next week. This could be lengthy, and I'm going to pick up here next week. So because I still have to give you your homework for week 2, And it's not much. Week 2 is not much homework. Let me hit stop share. Hang on. All right. So week 2 is number 1, and you'll get all this tomorrow. Peggy will send out the link and the homework. It's really simple. Number 1 is become completely aware of every negative thought that you have and write it down. Or if you don't have your pen and paper and you think of it, I want you to record it, like put it in your notes or record it in your voice recorder. I want you to make a note of like all your negative thoughts about yourself, about a situation, about a team member, about a family member, just anything negative that comes your way. It takes, no, let me say this over. It takes, it's huge. It's like 7 to 10 positive words to overcome one negative thought. Well, if it takes 7 to 10 positive things to overcome your negative, what if you're having, that's why I want you to track it. That's why I want you to track it. Because what if you're having 40 or 50 or 60, 80, 100 negative thoughts a day? How many positive things is it going to take to overcome that? A lot. That's why if you will work on doing positive affirmations, it won't take as many at all. The good news about doing positive affirmations is when you're doing them, you don't have to think about them. You can actually play them as you're going to bed at night. You can play them so your subconscious can pick them up. How many of you have watched a commercial and you wouldn't even know that you've watched the commercial, but you can sing it, you can talk about it, or maybe you've heard a song 5 times, 10 times, and when it comes on, you can sing and still talk on the phone, or sing and still directions go to where you're going. Your subconscious mind works for you, guys. It's proven. It's scientific. It's just what happens. So you can actually listen to your positive affirmations without purposefully, intentionally listening to them and watching them. Like, you can listen as you're doing something else. Okay? So that's the good news. Number 2 is apply the 5-second rule to at least 2 things this week that are challenging you. So 2 of your challenges, maybe you wrote them down, 2 of your challenges, I want you to apply the 5-second rule to every day this week. And I can't wait to hear next week. That's kind of the feedback I want to hear next week. Some of it is how that worked for some of you. Something that you procrastinate on, something that you're challenged by, something you're afraid of. When you find yourself about to do it and you stop and you apply that rule, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and do it. I want to hear about it. Okay? So that's your homework. All right. I'm going to unmute. Hang on. I'm not going to unmute everyone. I'm going to unmute if there's anyone with their hand up. So if you have a question, you can either raise your hand. Well, I won't be able to see you because I'm going to only see 1 out of 4 screens. So if you can raise your hand on your little, I think you have a little place at the bottom of your screen. Let's see. I'm not sure where it is on your screen. Should be at the bottom bar. Just raise your hand, and then I can unmute you or you can unmute you. If you have a question, a comment, we'll spend about 15, 20 minutes if we need to, or more, on questions pertaining to the class. Anyone? Okay, Jody, burgers. Hang on, my mouse is acting crazy. Wait a minute. Oh, there it is. Okay, lower hand. And, okay, Jody, I think you unmuted yourself?
I did. I wanted to let everybody know that you raise your hand if you click on the participants at the bottom of your screen.
Okay.
It'll bring up a raise hand thing.
Okay.
say I have that 5-second rule, and I've actually been using it this week, and it is something to get in the habit of doing that. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah,
I've kind of used it more for my negative thoughts. Okay, get them out of there.
that's good. That's good. That's a great way you're aware of them, and so you're using it. So, and it is a habit, but it's also not just a habit. It's a decision that you're not going to think about anything. More than a habit, it's a decision. So, you can develop a good habit, but it's by a decision you make. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, do. So thank you for your feedback.
Okay, guys, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ask a question.
Awesome. Allison. Let's see. Allison. Well, where'd you go? Allison?
I'm here.
Okay.
Okay. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I'm going to find you on the screen.
Okay. Kind of dark, probably. Okay, so that book that she was talking about, the What to Say When You Talk to Yourself, I think I told you I read that this spring. That's been huge. And so at the end of the book, if you have not read it, it's kind of a slow read. It's a little older and it's jam-packed, so it does take a while to read and get through and digest. But at the end, he gives kind of an assignment and wants you to keep track, exactly like she's been telling us to do. I sat down, and over the course of literally, it took me probably 2 hours. I wrote down, I'm going to be blunt, about 10 pages of stuff that I tell myself on a regular basis. Not necessarily over the course of a day, but and I'm a positive person generally. I'm not negative. I love people. I love to have fun, but my self-talk is awful. And so that book was very eye-opening. So I forced myself to write a positive affirmation for each one. And then there are 2 apps on your phone. If you have an iPhone, Repeat It Again is a good app. Those are short. I think there's 9 spots. You can have up to 2 minutes each. If you have an Android or an iPhone, you can use one called Subliminator. That's the same idea. And but it allows you to record multiple ones. And I haven't found a limit. So I've been doing kind of both. I went through and read everything. For one in the Subliminator, and then separated it into being a mom, just general plexus, being a wife, child of God, whatever.
Yeah.
And then in the Repeat It Again, you can make them shorter. So go do that. It has been instrumental for improvement this year.
So you definitely have seen fruit from doing this.
Yes, absolutely.
Great. Wonderful.
Yep.
Allison, have you caught yourself? Do you catch yourself more now when you're saying those negative things to yourself? Do you catch it more if it even happens as much?
I'm more aware, for sure. And, this goes way, way, way back to early elementary when I moved. And these negative it's been building over 30 years, and it just, when it builds and you just don't realize it. And you can be a positive person. I thought I was anyway. You can be what you think is a positive person and not really realize just how much you're telling yourself.
Yeah.
So yes, definitely. I've seen some huge changes over the summer. So it's been really, really good.
Thank you for sharing very much. Thank you. And that's the difference in that subconscious mind and that conscious mind. Like your conscious mind, hey, I'm positive. I love people. I'm positive. I pour into people. I give people praise. I'm happy. But that subconscious, that 30 years of baggage is what you got to work on. It's what you got to work on. Good for you. Good for you. All right. Let's see. The next hand up, I have Brianna. Hey, Brianna. I'll unmute. Lower your hand. Where are you?
Right here.
There you are.
Hey, I was a few minutes late tonight, so there's a chance that maybe this was in the first 6 minutes and I missed it. And you can just tell me to replay it, and I'll replay it tomorrow. But I have a question about when you were talking about checking yourself. It's like when my business is slow, and you mentioned making sure that you're being a grounded leader. And I'm curious. I'm not sure how to I don't know what your measuring tool would be to make sure that you're being a grounded leader. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's just that decision that I am all in, and that I am always leading by example. Bottom line, like for me, if I know that I am leading by example and I'm not managing people, but I am working, I am leading, I'm not doing anything that I don't expect anyone else to do. To me, that's what I measure it to. Like I'm grounded, like I'm in this for life. It's a decision. People are going to know that I am all in by my actions, not my words. I'm not going to complain to my upline about my team until I look inward to see what I'm doing or I'm not doing. Yeah. So, I hope that helps. Yeah. Sorry. Hey, it's home life. All right. Lori, let's see. Lori, I don't see a last name, but I'm going to lower your hand and unmute Lori. Let's see, was that, okay, well, I see a Lori there. Lori, hang on. Lori, there you are. Short hair and glasses. Did you have your hand up? Okay. Okay, you say, wait. Okay, Lori, say something because something's not right. No. You sound like Mickey Mouse. Like you sound like Donald Duck. It's like Disney like talk. This is weird. Okay, it's cute as can be. It's cute as can be, but I'm not understanding Donald Duck, and it's not your fault. It is your computer, and this is so fun. You're gonna laugh when you see this. What a precious, darling woman you are. How funny. All right, I'm gonna mute you. You may want to type your question. Like there's a chat button. How funny is that? Wow, that's the first time I've ever seen that on Zoom. Okay. Lori is precious. Who else we got? Anybody else have a question? If I don't see your hand, you can just unmute and say something. I don't see any more hands yet. So I know it's getting late. I'm probably going to have to take my third shower today because I'm hot. All right, there's Lori, your hand's up. Oh, I'm dying. Lori, yeah, mute yourself. Do yourself a favor, and here's the deal. You're going to enjoy this recording tomorrow. I hope you rewatch this part of it. Oh, my goodness, how precious. I can message Zoom and ask them what in the world. I have a girl there that will help me when I directly message her, and I'll ask her, what makes someone sound like Donald Duck? We'll get to the bottom of it. You're precious. I'm sorry this is happening to you. Thanks for your sweet smile and positive attitudes. All I can say. Wow. All right. Anybody else got anything they want to say? All right. Audrey from Australia. I definitely want to hear your voice. Love me some Aussies. Audrey, unmute. Audrey,
hello
go for it.
Hello, I'm going to confuse you. I'm Scottish, living in Australia. So it's the Scottish accent.
Okay, Scottish. Love it. Beautiful.
Can you hear me? I'm sounding a bit delicate at the moment.
Yeah.
My question. No. Okay. My question is, last week, that amazing video that you sent.
Yes.
Something really caught me in there that a thought can be stillborn if you do not vocalize it, you do not say it.
Yeah.
That hit me so much because, like you say, it's what you say to yourself in your mind, in your head, and all these thoughts that are on, and the negative things that you're trying to stop. So is that the same as like with this book? I do have the book which I started and so is it the actual thought that you can stop, or do you give power to it when you actually you speak that word?
Okay, Audrey, you are very, very choppy. Was she choppy to y'all? Okay, you're very choppy. So I'm not clear on the question. But I think you're asking me, because I think I'm gathering it. You're asking, if you don't verbalize it, can you stop it from happening or something like that? I mean, whether it's verbalized or whether it's in your head, it's just, we all do have the negative thoughts. But I believe, my belief is, until you stop those, until you catch them and go, wait a minute, Sonia, that they're still living there. They're still living there. Now, when you verbalize them, it's worse because you're giving life to them, you're hearing them, you're taking them back in. But even when they're, in my opinion, you have to learn to stop them in here too. You have to learn to catch them, to change, and make some positive affirmations about them. So I'm not good enough. If you're thinking it, but you're not saying it, you got to wait a minute. Audrey, I am good enough. God made me the way I am. In fact, I am great. You know, you've got to change that. So I think so. That's my opinion. And if that wasn't the right question, just email me your question because you're really choppy. Okay? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Cindy Morin, unmute. Cindy.
Hi, I'm here. Okay, so I just to, I guess, kind of summarize. How long does it take usually to tell yourself these messages before? I mean, do you just have to at some point just start saying 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 like right away and just do it, or does saying these things just help you like just get started? Or how long does it usually take to really become like a habit where you actually think like this is true?
Good question. So if you're 40, it's probably taken you 40 years to develop your beliefs. So it's not going to happen overnight for sure. The 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 rule is just to help you not procrastinate. Kind of has nothing to do with all the other fear stuff and the affirmations, kind of two separate things. Once you start doing the affirmations and here's what I do is when I feel like I've conquered something and I'm doing it and I'm good with it and I've created a whole new habit or belief, I promise you there's more that come into play. And you then at that point, you make new affirmations. I'm constantly making new affirmations. I'm like, Lord, wait a minute. I just overcame all these. Like these 3. It took me 6 months. I've overcome these 3. I have a new habit. I don't believe that about myself. I'm great at this now. Now I get 2 more. Like it's a process of growth. You're always going to have fear. It's never going to stop, but it's how you deal with it. You've got to dance with the fear, embrace the fear, love it, so because you know that you can conquer it. You love it because you expect it. I expect there to be a new fear. I don't ever go, oh, I'm afraid of this. Where'd that come from? It's like, okay, this is normal. It's a fear. I can overcome it. And embrace it and look forward to overcoming it, because here's the good news. You can. Cindy, you can overcome it. I work with so many people that overcome things they never believed they could overcome. You can do it. I promise you. But it's everyday, consistent work on it. It's almost like a full-time job. It's like, it's a full-time job. That's why I'm recording, and I forgot, Allison maybe, somebody in the beginning said, record your affirmations. I use Affirmation Remix on an iPhone. A Droid, she told you one, Subliminal something.
Subliminator.
Yes, Subliminator. And then there's Affirmation Remix. There's a few. But record those things and listen to them. It makes it easier. It makes it not quite a full-time job. Put it on while you're on the treadmill. put it on right before you go to bed, laying by your bed with some headset on. You'll go to sleep with it going on, wake up in the night, turn it off. You're reprogramming that way. I did that 1 year in my other business, a solid year. I had headphones. Well, they were big then. Back then, they were earphones, and I had a cassette player that played an endless loop tape. It played all night long, and I would get up, at 3 in the morning to pee or whatever, and I would turn it off. But it had reprogrammed my subconscious mind through the night, and that was my best year ever in that business, in every aspect of the business. I didn't have to think about it. My affirmations played through the night. That's one way you can do it without taking on a full-time job. I hope that's helped.
Yeah.
Thank you, Cindy. Kristen Ellis.
It's me.
All right, Kristen, I'm trying to find you. Let's see.
I'm waving.
Hang on, I got 4 screens here. Hang on.
That's okay.
Wave again. There you are. Okay, you're on screen 1.
So, a friend of mine actually gave me your YouTube channel probably about a month before I did this class, and in one of them you had talked about doing affirmations for 21 days. And
Yeah.
So I started it, and I actually started an affirmation journal, and I've been doing it consistently every single day. And people are really starting to notice that, like, I'm different. Everybody's starting to talk to me like, wow, you're different. I'm like, yeah, I am, because I'm cool. But you were also talking about you should expect new fears, and it reminded me of that scripture that tells us we should wake up with the full armor of God every day. We have to put on the helmet of salvation and all that, and that should be a daily thing, because as we conquer new stuff, the devil's always going to try to mess with us to keep us from our purpose.
He is.
So it just reminded me of that scripture. And then the 5-second rule, I used it. Let me see. We had our class on Wednesday last week. I used it on Thursday, and I did something that I have never done before for my business, ever, ever, ever. Half of my city has seen me chubby and not so chubby now because I posted flyers everywhere myself. But it's just an idea I had that I've never done before. And I was sitting at my kitchen table and I was stuck. I was like, I don't know what to do. What am I going to do for my business today? And I was like, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I grabbed my keys and I told my husband I'll be back in an hour. And I just left and I just did it.
Wow. Wow. That's huge.
Yeah.
I mean, that's huge. Yeah. And, for people to recognize just in 21 days, and the reason I said do something 21 days, it takes 21 days to develop a habit. I don't believe it takes 21 days to have a habit really like stick for life. I think the 21 days is where you're in a habit of like, I believe this is going to work if I keep doing it. I think it takes 21 days to sell you on this will work if I do it. Okay.
Yes.
I think it takes a lot longer to really change something that's taken years to get. But kudos to you. I'm happy that people recognize the change in you, because what happens is you start believing different things about you when you start changing your thoughts. And then you start attracting the right people to you, and people start coming out of the woodwork, and you get a call from people, and you're like, how'd this happen? Every time, right? Every time.
In the past 3 days, I've had 4 or 5 other women reach out to me about their relationship. You would have to understand what I've been through to know why they would come to me with that. But people have never come to me like that before, and now all of a sudden they are.
Great. See, there you go. It's proof. Your mind is a computer. Your mind is a computer. You change what you put in, you change what comes in. It's just a cycle. I mean, I love it. Thank you so much for sharing. You've inspired me, and I'm sure so many on the call. Love it. Thank you. Yay. All right. Anyone else before we close up? We got a couple more minutes. Anyone else? Poor Lori. We're going to get Lori figured out. Lori's still got a little hand raised. I'm going to lower your hand. Anyone else? If not, I'm going to go, because it takes about 30, 40 minutes to get this to where I can give it to Peggy because I have to do it on Zoom and then YouTube unlisted and then get you the link. So we'll get that link right out tomorrow and work on your homework. And I can't wait to hear next week how you guys did with your negative thoughts and your 5-second rule. I'm really looking forward to some feedback next week. So thank you so much. Excited. I'm going to unmute everyone. This is the part I love. Bye, y'all. Love you.
Thanks, Sonia. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Enjoy being with y'all.
Bye. Thank you.
Thanks, Sonia.
Thank you, guys. Enjoy your weekend.
Thank you, Sonia.
Thank you, Sonia.
Hope you get
Thank
your
you.
Hey, Becky Walton. How are you, Becky Walton? Woo!